Hi guys, it's track 4. Another week, another song, another making of. This is one of my favorite songs that I might have ever written, probably because it is very short, actually. I didn't write that much of it. I wrote like two paragraphs, and somehow an entire song was made out of this one chunk. It's one of the songs that changed the most, I think, from the original. It's one of the ones I like the most, especially original wise. I'm not saying that I do not like the studio version. The studio version is a bop. It is a bop. But this one, original wise, is one of my favorite things that I've written acoustically. And I wish that I had been able to make it more of a thing acoustically, and I just didn't, and I just couldn't really. Something kind of went missing somewhere along when I was writing this, but I really like what it was. This song also features drums from Dr. Benstein. Oh my gosh, I should know how to pronounce his working name more. But Tom had a drummer friend called, I think it's Dr. Benstein, and yes, he came in and offered his very amazing drum skills on this song. This is the song that I think we kind of pinned as like the song of the summer. This is like the summer bop on the album, which is funny, seeing as though it's the saddest song maybe out of all of the things I've written. It is not lyrically a happy one, but it's kind of fun that you can take something that's meant to be really sad and heavy and turn it into something upbeat and make something different out of it. And I kind of love that about music. This song is called Like I Do. We're back in the breakup era now of this kind of horrible breakup that I had. And this song is, I guess, me saying, do you feel like I do? Are you experiencing the same pain that I am experiencing? Because it feels like you are not. And I think there's something really hard, not even romantically, but just when you've had conflict with someone or a separation with somebody, where you feel like your version of events is more painful than theirs, or they are not having the same experience as you, and how that can make everything worse. And that's basically what the lyrics of this song are about. It's quite kind of visceral and sad, the lyrics to this, but we kind of made it, because we didn't have as much to work with, like song wise. We kind of just ended up repeating a lot of it and making it very upbeat and making it very fun, and it's suddenly very catchy and poppy, and that came from the lovely drums from Dr. Benstein. I'm sure there's some videos here that I think I've taken from back in the day that I will give Raj to edit in. But yeah, we had a couple of days of, I think maybe it was just one day, where he came into the studio and did the drums on this, and he really liked this one. I think this was Dr. Benstein's favorite. So yeah, thank you to you, sir, for your wonderful skills on this track. It was the first time I think we had live drums. It was the only song that we had live drums on. Everything else was Tom in the studio. It's kind of amazing what can be done in the studio. So this is the making of Like I Do. And it is a bit of a bop. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it's a bop. I like it. I like how it turned out, but it is a hop and a skip and a jump away from what it was. I just realized that hop and a skip means that it's not that far, isn't it? Okay, I mean it is very far from what it originally was meant to be. Okay, with this one, I really focused a lot on, I think, the melody. I think sometimes when I write something, some days I'm just focused on how I feel about the song or how I feel about what I'm writing. And I wrote what I wrote. The lyrics were what they were. I think I wrote 2 chunks of lyrics. That was it. Nothing else was kind of coming. That was all I wanted to say. The lyrics were really simple. I had what I had written, and I had nothing else to say after that. The song just kind of stopped. But I took the words that I had written, and I really wanted to make it melodic, and I wanted to make it something that sounded kind of haunting and nice. And I did a lot of harmonies, and I really liked the kind of guitar melody that I had found for these words as well. So I kind of was just happy with how it was sounding, and I just kind of built off of it, and I just repeated it again. The song doesn't, this song, the original wise, it doesn't go anywhere. Like, it doesn't actually go anywhere. You know, when I was talking about in the other videos how sometimes the songs would move in a direction or they would go somewhere, this song doesn't go anywhere at all. It doesn't go anywhere. But I really like the original because it just, I think, sounded pretty. But obviously in the studio version, if it doesn't go anywhere, you've not got a lot to work with. So we ended up making it go somewhere instead in the studio version. But the original starts off like this. So that is basically the first few words of each sentence. It doesn't really work to just like say the first few words of a sentence if you've not heard them before. But I don't think I really cared about that. I wasn't singing them at the beginning of that to be heard. I guess it was just for the sound, you know, just like, I guess like a little teaser of the sentences that were to come later. And I think that also gets kept in the original as well.
Does your pain like mine?
Right.
Or don't you have the time? Do you bleed from your eye like I do?
I think Tom was like, we can't have just like a bit of the sentence because it doesn't make sense. So we have to echo it with the end of the sentence. So I think we still have the beginning of it, but then we echo it in a second layer with the response of the kind of second half of the sentence, which makes sense.
Do you start to feel so your skin feel what you've done to this home like I do?
Interesting. That's so funny. And then it just needs to build somewhere. So I think in the studio version, it immediately starts needing to go somewhere, and the drums basically kick in here. In the original, it's just so sad. The whole time it's just sad. It's just so sad. So I remember now, I tried to add in something that sounded like an intro or like a verse. And when we got it to the studio, it didn't work. But this is what was in the original that didn't end up working.
You don't know what I'm thinking.
So depressing. Yeah, I don't know where that went. I just think it didn't have any place. That's the only time I do that in the song. It doesn't even like repeat or anything. It's also not even a full verse. So I don't know what I was doing with this song. It was just kind of like a mess of emotions. But I think, yeah, I just ended up having this bit where it was like sinking. You don't know what I'm thinking. Crying. You don't know how I'm trying. Doesn't even make sense, really. It's just feel like I'm just whining about my emotions there. But then it goes into the actual bulk of the song. So we've had a minute of basically nothing until the actual words, I guess.
Does your pain feel like mine, or don't you have the time? Do you bleed from your eyes like I do? Do you stop where you feel so your skin won't reveal what you've done to this home that had me and you?
That is it. That's basically the whole song. That's it. That's all I wrote. I think that was all I wanted to say. At the time, I was just so sad. I was so sad. And you know, when you just write something and that's exactly how you feel, at the time, that is all I wanted to say. Does your pain feel like mine? Or don't you have the time? Do you bleed from your eyes like I do? Do you stop where you feel so your skin won't reveal what you've done to this home that had me and you? That's basically all the lyrics were. That's it. Are you shutting down your feelings? Are you choosing to not deal with this because I'm dealing with it? I'm the one that's having to deal with it. That's basically what the song was about. And then I just kind of repeated it again, but with more like layers and stuff like that. In the studio version, that is all we had to work with. So we just kind of kept building on that and making it more and more upbeat and more fun. And it suddenly became like a summer banger out of nowhere. Even though that is really sad, we somehow made this really happy.
Does your pain feel like mine, or don't you have the time? Do you bleed from your eyes like I do?
The drums are so cool though.
Do you stop where you feel so your skin won't reveal what you've done to this home that had me and you? Like I do. Does your pain
Same thing again.
feel like mine, or don't you
Same thing.
have the time? Do you bleed from your eyes like I do? Like I do. Like I do. Like I do. Like I do. Like I do.
That is so funny. So yeah, that's all we had. All we had to work with was that tiny bit that I wrote. But I think me and Tom both liked the melody. And when you like the melody and you've not got much to work with, what do? You just keep padding it out. So we just kind of lay it on it. Later on in the original, there's a lot of like I do, like I do, like I do, like I do. We just kind of just kept repeating the thing again and again and making it layer in with the chorus. I think you hear it more in the original. Also, sorry, if it keeps juttering, it's because this is the only one on my Google Drive. This was the hardest original to find. This one took me so long to find. I don't know where it was missing. It just was disappearing in my files. But yeah, this one is on my Google Drive, so it's being streamed from the internet. So sorry for the delay on all the little skips on some of them.
Does your pain feel like mine, or don't you have the time? Do you bleed from your eyes like I do? Do you stop where you feel so your skin won't reveal what you've done to this home that had me and you?
Oh my god, interesting. The poor speakers and headphones on GarageBand during this time. So I just repeated the chorus. I say chorus. That's the only bulk of the song. I repeated that twice, and then at that point, even me, with my lack of musical knowledge, knew that it had to go somewhere. So I remember doing my own drums with these two fingers on the table, and I was just going, wait, will the mic even pick this up? I just kept doing that on the desk. Right, I think I did it right on the table next to the laptop because I didn't have drums, but I knew what I wanted it to sound like. So I was just doing like an example of that, but it was with my fingers on the table. And now it's funny that now that's the actual song that has actual drums on it. It's the only song on the album that has an actual drummer on it. Clearly my little finger drumming was not enough. But that is what is going on here.
feel like mine? Or don't you have the time? Do you believe from your eyes like I do? You stop where you feel, so your skin won't reveal what you've done to this home that had me and you, me and you, me and you, me and you. Does your pain cry?
And then I start to do what I did at the beginning. The crying, don't know how I'm trying thing, sinking, you don't know what I'm thinking. It's such a different song. It's such a different song, but also it doesn't really go anywhere. It's just like, it's more like a, I think sometimes I would write something not even to be like a structured song. It would just be more like a soundscape. I think a lot of the time I didn't understand music. I didn't know what chords were. I didn't know what writing songs were about. I feel like I still don't really. I was just writing things that made sense to me at the time, and based off of my feelings and based off of what I was feeling and thinking and doing, and they just became more like soundscapes. And this is one of those ones, I think, but I really quite like it. I quite like the kind of messiness of it, and there's so many layers and so much was going on in that. But yeah, to make it a more coherent song, it had to have more of a structure to it. So the echoing of like I do became the kind of chant of the studio version, and then we just kept kind of building it, and it just became, it oddly just suddenly became something you could dance to, and I wasn't expecting it. Out of all the songs that I had written, I wasn't expecting that to be the one that was like the kind of the bop, but it did become that. So I'll play you the rest of it. Jump scares all the time with my music.
Does your pain feel like mine? Or don't you have the time? Do you bleed from your eyes like I do? Like I do. Do you stop where you feel, so your skin won't reveal what you've done to this home that had me and you, me and you, like I do. Like I do.
You've also got a lot of the I in the background that ends up repeating as well. Drums!
Like I do. 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 Like I do.
God, live drums had such a different effect on how it sounds than like, you know, like kind of keyboard or paid for, you know, keyboard drum sounds. It's just completely different, so completely different. But yeah, there you go. That is the journey of Like I Do. It was so different. It's just so different. And as always, I will put the full original draft for you so that you can listen to it uninterrupted now. But that's the story of Like I Do. It probably the saddest and most pained song that I've written about this one specific scenario. But I think for me, whilst it's completely different, a really beautiful example of how something fun and upbeat and more positive can come out of some of the worst parts of your life and the most painful moments. Not to be cheesy, but I mean, listen, this is some of the most cheesy. I'm sure these are the most cheesy videos I might ever do talking about this stuff, but it was kind of cathartic having something so sad become something so something such that became such a vibe. It became such a vibe. So yeah, enjoy the original. And as always, all of the studio versions are on all your streaming services if you want to listen to the album at any time to see their transformations.
like I do? Do you stop where you feel so your skin won't reveal what you've done to this home that had me and you? Does your pain feel like mine, or don't you have the time? Do you bleed from your eyes like I do? Do you stop where you feel so your skin won't reveal what you've done to this home that had me and you? Does your pain feel like mine, or don't you have the time? Do you bleed from your eyes like I do?